she's here. Hi team, Anna here, makeup creator and teacher and educator, specifically for people with hooded eyes, 30 plus skin, oily, textured skin, all of those good things. We love everything about makeup on this channel. And today, without further ado, I did pick up the new Makeup by Mario eyeshadow palette. She's here in all her glory. I have not even touched her yet. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. One of a kind. One and only. We're going to be talking about the new Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Moonlight palette. We're going to be swatching, comparing it to the original Ethereal Eyes palette, and of course, creating the most gorgeous, sultry, beautiful date night look. I am going to the theater later, so I want to look glam, and this is going to help me out. All right, like and subscribe, and let's dive right in. This palette comes in their typical packaging, the box right here. This is going to be the Ethereal Eyes Moonlit eyeshadow palette. It looks kind of like exactly like the OG Ethereal Eyes palette. I have them both here in my possession. Okay, the older palette already looks a little bit dirtier, but the packaging is exactly the same. The shelf life is also exactly the same, 12 months. We got the shade names here, which are quite boring. It's just EE1, EE6, and all of that goodness. Manufactured in USA, assembled in the Dominican Republic. Same quality, same gorgeousness. But the moment I opened it up, you guys, it arrived late last night and I couldn't stop looking at it. In my humble opinion, this color story is everything and more. Whereas the first palette is all browns and neutrals and gorgeous and beautiful, this is a cool tone lover's dream. If you have olive undertones, if you have cool undertones, this is a must-have. This is a must-have for you. I typically don't really have cool undertones, but I do kind of prefer cool tones on me. Like I'm wearing cool tone liner today. I love cool tone eye looks. That's why I picked it up immediately. The price point is up there like always with these palettes. It's $68 US. I picked it up at Sephora website. So the shipping was very fast, very gorgeous, very beautiful. And we have a lot here. Oh my God. I really just don't want to touch it. That's how much I like it. The shimmers look insane in real life. The mattes look exactly like they do in the older palette, kind of like buttery, soft, really gorgeous. We are going to swatch this baby right now. And I am going to do row by row like I usually do. Ooh, these mattes feel so nice. I absolutely adore this. The pigmentation is there already. So we have the first kind of really light matte shade. I really hope this works in my inner corner as a highlight, because that's kind of what I was missing from in the first palette. Then we have this absolutely gorgeous topper shade. I think it's giving blue, lavender, and icy tones like silver. Absolutely stunning. Then we have this amazing taupe matte shade, and lastly this kind of black metallic, I want to say, interesting shade. Probably is going to look very good on a smoky eye, like as an eye topper again. And the first palette was limited edition. I'm not so sure about this one. Probably will be too, just to get it all hyped up. And a lot of people missed out on the first palette. I did not, and let me tell you, I was so happy. I am so happy I have it in my possession. Any glam look, any event, I always reach for it. I'm traveling with it. I have 200 eyeshadow palettes, but I always reach for this one. There is no other way to explain it but the genius of Makeup by Mario. So yeah, if you were waiting for a sign to grab another palette by his, I already know it's gonna be worth it. Grab it. All right, let's go for the second row. We have another kind of more grayish taupe matte. These gorgeous shimmers, yes, this is giving me everything I need. It's so sparkly, it's so dimensional, it's so beautiful. It's never just a simple shimmer with Mario. And then this beautiful shade is also speaking to me because I love kind of taupey shimmers. And then we have a real dark gray matte shade. Really beautiful, really solid so far. The mattes are not creamy, they're kind of drier, but also like super buttery. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like this specific special Makeup by Mario formula, and I adore it. His formulas are also like super easy to work with and super easy to blend, and his shimmers are very dimensional. I think that's why I always reach for the other palette, but I know this is going to be my go-to because I prefer cool tones. All right, the last row, we have a more kind of like dark brown tone, which is going to be super useful. We have the most spectacular silvery taupe shimmer, which is kind of the mix of the other two in my opinion. Then we have this very intriguing navy blue shade. Wow, interesting choice. I can see why, but at the same time, I mean, we needed a pop of color here, okay? We did. And then of course, a must have for a cool tone smoky palette, a black matte eyeshadow shade. Here is the color story in its all glory. I absolutely love it. I can see a smoky eye, I can see a beautiful halo eye, I can see a beautiful everyday look. I will be using the heck out of this one. Like in no time, this baby is going to look like this baby. Gross and used, but so loved. And you can see, by the way, both of them next to each other. I will swatch. Ooh, they're kind of magnetic. Interesting. I'm gonna swatch some similar shades at the end of this video. I don't think there's any specific dupes, but we'll definitely give it a try. Anyways, I'm super pumped to dive right in and put this in my eyeballs because wow, gorgeous. Mario, you're a genius, you know this, but in case you're watching this, just like thank you for creating this. This is the most inspiring holiday collection so far. I loved the ABH collection as well, and I am waiting on my purple Natasha Denona palette, but this, I think this will be my most used palette just because I love Mario so much, and this color story is right up my alley, like everything I dreamed of. All right, let's put it on my eyes. So I did apply eyeshadow primer. I just used my regular Urban Decay one, and I'm not going to be doing like a regular blended eyeshadow look. I want to be recreating this look. I got so inspired when I saw this, but obviously I'm gonna make it in a more like kind of like cool toned version of it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I just wanted to do something a little bit more creative. So let's dive right in. I'm gonna start with black eyeshadow, and I'm gonna pick up a small tiny brush like this for the graphic elements. This is by What's Up Beauty. This is their R112 brush. I'm gonna pick up the black. I know this palette, well, if it's the same formula as the old one, is going to have some fallout, which is not a big deal. It means the eyeshadows are super pigmented and I don't mind it at all. I'm going to completely relax my eyes and start building my shape from this point right here, kind of upwards, just following the direction of my waterline, basically how I do my eyeliner. I'm going to do that, wing that out, and then I'm basically going to create that definition above my natural crease, kind of like shaping my eye like so. I'm not really breathing when I'm doing this, and it doesn't have to be too perfect. We're going to blend it out, but I'm just kind of going to follow my natural eye shape here and then basically wing that out. Sort of like this is our first draft, and then I'm gonna go over it to re-intensify everything. The next thing I want to do is I want to create like a wing eye shape here, like a wing eyeliner shape. That's what I'm trying to say. And just kind of darken this space right here and also blend it out a little bit just to have that kind of smoky eyeliner in a situation. I'm not trying to make it too thin or anything, kind of like so. And then I'm going to run this shadow along my lash line as well to create shadow eyeliner. I picked up my favorite eyeliner brush by BK Beauty 208, and I'm going to do my inner corner with the same black eyeshadow with this brush just because I find it easier. So far the eyeshadow applies really beautifully. It's super pigmented, not a lot of fallout, but I am being extra careful. If this is your first time doing a look like this, I highly recommend doing eyes before you do your face, but just because I kind of know what I'm doing, I'm not too worried about that. So this is kind of our initial shade with this first beautiful black eyeshadow. I love it. Let's get into a lighter tone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start blending everything out with this gray shade. I'm picking up a fluffier brush and just carefully teasing that line that we created with that black, just a little bit of definition. Honestly, I might even go with a smaller brush here. I'm grabbing a smaller fluffy brush by BK Beauty, and again, just going over that black to kind of blend it a little bit, to diffuse that line a little bit. And then with a bigger fluffy brush, I will pick up this taupey shade and kind of diffuse everything further into my skin tone. And here I'm not trying to be too precise because I do want that shade to peek through. I'll take an even lighter matte through here and diffuse everything even further. And then I will try and get this light matte shade to kind of brighten the space below my brow. I think it's really, really pretty. All right, so now I'm gonna pick up this dark gray shade and kind of start creating this definition here and kind of start just lacing that here. And then we're going to get like a little gradient from the darkest matte to the light matte and then into the beautiful dimensional shimmers. So I'm just gonna putting a little bit of that through here, and then I'm going to transition it into a lighter taupe matte shade and just kind of blend this on the edge through here. And I actually do kind of want to see what this brown is giving, so I'll see if it's dark enough to go right in this spot right here before we apply that gray. Yeah, I do think it's working. So I'm just using a tiny brush to kind of place that on here, and now we're gonna apply shimmers through this negative space and it's gonna be gorgeous. All right, so full disclosure, I did apply a little bit of setting spray on my flat brush. This is by MOTD Cosmetics, my set for hooded eyes. Check it out via the link below. below. I'm gonna pick up this deep gray, kind of deep gray shimmer first and be super, super careful, tilt my head back and just place it through here. Oh, it is so dreamy. These shimmers by Makeup by Mario are the most unique, beautiful formula. You cannot find it anywhere else. That is why like the palette sold out so quickly, and I know this will too. It is absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna kind of wipe my brush off and grab this shade right here and apply it through the inner portion, just using kind of the same technique and tilting my head back so that there is no fallout, or at least very minimal fallout. It is spectacular. That gradient is giving me life. And of course I cannot not try this beautiful kind of moonlight, gorgeous blue silver shade. I'm just gonna pop that through the very, it's giving blue. It's giving blue. Through the very inner portion, I feel like I applied a little bit too high, but still that little pop of blue changes everything. Oh my God. This is a look. It's been a while since I did a look like this, but I'm kind of loving it. Let's get to the lower lash line. So I just applied black pencil liner. This is by Laura Mercier. Use my code Anastasia20 to get 20% off. And I'm going to set it with black eyeshadow from this palette, just kind of to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. And then with a fluffier brush, I'm just going to kind of diffuse it with a mix of other lighter mattes from the palette. I'm not being too careful here. I just need this to be diffused, really blended, kind of like so. I applied mascara and a lash, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. So let me finish the other eye off camera, and then we're gonna chat, compare the two palettes, and then I will share my final thoughts. But I think you already know. I think you already know that I'm in love with this. All right, team, I'm done with my makeup look. Here is the final result with the new Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Moonlight eyeshadow palette. To say that I am in love or obsessed is going to be saying nothing at all, because this is exceeding all of my expectations as per usual. I cannot even begin to express how happy I am to have both of these and how much I'm already in love with the cool tone version. I want to create beautiful everyday looks with it. I want to create smoky eyes. I want to create a blue look, a gray look, a more brown look, a more soft look, a halo eye. Comment down below if you want to see some short form tutorials, like which looks are you most interested in. In love with this palette, and I think the look turned out absolutely beautiful. This shade is the MVP of the show. I love the little peak of blue. I think that is so stunning. Can't wait to pair it up with this navy matte shade. I mean, the look speaks for itself. It looks stunning. It looks gorgeous. So glam. And this is giving me all of the vibes I need. Literally, this is going to travel with me everywhere. Now, let's look at the two palettes again and then see if there is any kind of really similar shades that we want to swatch that could be dupes. Looking right now, I would say that this brown shade is a little bit of a different tone than any of the ones in this palette. Like this one is lighter, this one is warmer, this one is much darker, so they're definitely not dupes. And then one more matte shade that I wanted to compare is this kind of taupey transition shade and this cool tone shade. I will actually swatch them side by side just to make sure that they're not complete dupes. And yes, they're not. This is the Ethereal Eyes palette. This is the new Moonlight palette. This one is a little bit more gray toned than the one in the first palette. In terms of shimmers, I would say that definitely these two kind of like deeper silver tones are comparable, but all of the shimmers in the new palette are that glittery, sparkling formula, whereas in this palette we have three shades like that, and then this is a little bit of a different formula. It's kind of like a foiled metallic, whereas all of these four are those sparkling little like really beautiful dimensional shimmers. I don't think any of these are dupes. Even this gold and this gold do not look the same. Like this is a much warmer palette and a much warmer gold. I would say that, well, I guess you can't get your hands on this palette anymore, but if you were into neutrals and warmer tones, then definitely this would be more your vibe. However, if you were into cool tones, this is definitely a must-have in my books. Amazing palette. I'm so happy I have it. I'm so happy I have both of it. I know I could pair them also, and that would be something super fun and super beautiful. I am super happy with my purchase, even though it costs a fortune. But yeah, let me know if you're picking it up. I'm gonna leave the links to everything I'm wearing and this palette down below. If you shop through my links, you help me out quite a bit. Thank you so much for that. And I really need to know your opinions. What do we think about this? Have you picked it up? What are your thoughts? I love it. I hope you love it too, and I hope hope you enjoyed this beautiful tutorial. Let me know what you think about it, and thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye.